working because, well, obviously, of course, I would want it to because this is the whole point. 2, I hate being late. It's 6 minutes. I do apologize. 3, this game has a lot of moving pieces that are all going to be active at once. Time is of the essence in that time will be happening a little bit faster than it normally does. I believe the scale is, let's see, I think it's 10 minutes per 10 seconds. So a minute per second, you don't have a lot of time, and you only get one save point, which is at the end of the night. So I want to make sure that the stream is running and that you guys can see it, because if you guys have no idea what I'm doing and you can't hear me and the stream's not going, we're not going to have a lot of fun in this game. So I want to make sure that we are doing this correctly so we can take off. So I am Sarah the Eagle. I am going to be starting this channel, The Eagle Lands in which I take a bunch of different games to play, and I'm just a hilarious amateur trying to play games and hopefully not suck. The first game, though, I know that I don't suck at because I've been playing for a good few months and I've gotten through year 2, almost completed the community center. You'll know what that means in a minute, but we are playing Stardew Valley. So Stardew Valley, to begin, before we actually get started with the game, is a game that you can hear on, that you can play through Steam. I believe you can also play it through PS4 and Vita. So you would be able to hear all about this game through, obviously, other Steam users. But and I believe it's also getting a version for the Switch, if it hasn't already. This game came out in 2016, so it could be somewhat older. Let me see here. So, the creator, by the way, his name is Eric Baroni. He is a wonderful human being. He is the co-creator of one of these other games that I actually super love called Terraria. I've logged an embarrassingly high number of hours on that game. And so he took 4 years and created this game literally by himself. He was heavily inspired by Harvest Moon and Terraria and Minecraft. You'll see those influences being overt later. He also is just a wonderful human being. Super shout out to Jacob from the leaderboard for most of the facts that I'm going to come up with for you guys today, and also Dangerously Funny, who helped teach me some of the ins and outs of this game. He's a YouTuber that I've been following fairly closely, as well as my brother. However, the one thing I don't like about his streams is that he does something that I like to never do, which is be mean to literally everyone. Alright, so we're going to get started. Stardew Valley starts off with a little Easter egg, because if you click on this little E, alien. Alright, so I'm going to be creating a new file just because I don't want to show you guys any spoilers or any crazy shit stuff going on in my game. So I already have a character named Sarah, so we'll go from the Eagle. We could be incredibly unoriginal and say Stardew, but we're not going to do that. So let's call it The Nest. Let's see, favorite thing. Let's say video games. I always choose cat. You can also choose dog. You can choose cats of different breeds as well. You can have, I call the Sammy Wham because he looks like my dog, who is Sammy, also the Wham. You can have a more German Shepherd looking dog. You can have a droopy-eared looking dog, almost like a Cocker Spaniel. And you can also have multiple different kinds of kitties. I'm partial to the orange cat myself. I did used to have an orange cat when I was younger. So you can create your character from here, and thankfully, much like Terraria, the character creation is fairly diverse. This whole binary thing is like kind of not alright, but then again, the character's super pixely. If you wanted to, you know, call them quote-unquote male, but then give them like a totally feminine hairstyle with like braids and stuff, you absolutely can. So, like, look, quote-unquote male body with female hair, but you can like totally change it up. Just for continuity's sake, I always like to keep it fairly simple for my personal identification, which is female. So, I am going to run this. And I want to make sure that my other friends are in on the stream, so let me make sure that they're in on it. A bunch of people texting me. Alright, want to make sure that this is running, so... if literally everything I've just said is heard by absolutely nobody, I'm gonna be a little miffed. A little miffed. So, alright, so we're going to go to eye color. My eye color is technically hazel, but hazel is kind of a hard color to nail down, so we're just going to say dark green. I'm going to go based on what I look like, but you can also just throw caution to the wind and just be like, yeah, I want to be somebody who has like crazy blue hair. And everyone would be like, yeah, sure, okay. There are characters in this game who have purple hair. There are characters in this game who have green hair. There are characters in this game who, you'll see. My hair color is like an auburnish, so I usually leave it at that. And I like to wear dark wash, but you can really just change it around. You do also get other customizable things in the game. So you can also like either purchase different things that make you look different. You get different shirts. So don't feel like you're too attached to the options that you have at the beginning screen. It'll be all right. Charlie Brown shirt. I usually wear this green belt shirt just because it makes me look like a Link. But you can also be a little bit more fun than that. I think this time around I'm going to wear something more fun. Yeah, blue button-up. That's more fun, for sure. I like this heart one. I think I'll stick to that. Pants, I wish there were a few more options. You get like a skirt, pants, shorts, dress. And funnily enough, you don't get seasonal options. So when it becomes winter, you're still wearing your stuff. So I like to do pants, just because I live in jeans anyway. Oh, also, you can give yourself a beard as a female, quote-unquote. So gender doesn't really matter all that much. You can also add earrings if you'd like, and that does go for the male option as well, quote unquote. You can give yourself glasses, lipstick, any RoboCop visor or something. Oh, I like the headphones and earbuds. Let's do that. All right, we're not going to skip intro because some of you have probably never played before, so we'll do that. I'll let you guys read. I'm not going to read to you. Why bother? Pay attention to other things in the room, by the way. I didn't catch these the first time around. Is this game really starting with our grandfather dying? Yes, it is. Don't worry, the game will not be this sad most of the way through. We don't know how many years later. The game doesn't actually tell us. What does this symbol remind you of? That's on purpose. What big grocery store mart reminds you of something that uses a similar symbol? Or maybe this symbol. You know, a store that carries items from A to Z. That's on purpose. And there you are. Well, there I am. You must be in dire need of a change. The same thing happened to me long ago. I'd lost sight of what mattered most in life, real connections. I'm not going to read the rest. You guys can read. We're not told exactly if this world is our world. I'm guessing it's not, because there will be a few elements that come into play later that are clearly fantastical. But I also wonder if this game is tied to other games, either spiritually or literally. Eric Baroni hasn't made any statements, as far as I know, about where this game fits in with any other games, if it shares like a universe, if it's a different timeline, etc. But it would be interesting to see other games happening in different areas, because if Stardew is on the southern coast, then I'd like to know what the real map looks like and what might be going on in other places, especially because when you start running into, I'll say, characters and monsters from different areas of the game, you'll start to have the same kind of wanderlust as I do. Yeah, so this is a big table flipping moment in which you just, nope, bye, leave. Joja Mart's behind you. You're gonna just take Grandpa's farm. You literally bought the farm. That is literally what happened. And now you're going on a bus to your new home in Stardew. These graphics should be familiar to any of you guys who play Terraria. I thought that bird would be significant. It hasn't become one yet. Been reading too many Neil Gaiman books. Been watching too many movies. So the first person you meet is Robin. She's going to be very important in the game because she is your carpenter. Any kind of buildings you want to make, any kind of improvements you want to make on your house, any kind of things like that you're going to want to add to your farm, which you will, are going to be through her. She's going to be somebody you definitely want to stay friends with, and I'll show you how to do that. Yeah, Lewis, the person that your grandfather was talking about, to, hey, if that guy's still alive. That's Mayor Lewis. He's the mayor of the town. Also important. That's nice. The mayor is cleaning my house for me. And here's my farm. An absolute crap hole. Then again, my grandfather was old and probably not able to take care of the place, and so for how long, we don't know. It also said XX years later, so we don't even know how long it's been since he passed away. So this place has had a little while to overgrow. It's not that nice looking. Yeah, same. My first playthrough, definitely same. A bit overgrown. You're a carpenter. What would you know about good soil? I'm just a local city slicker rolling up in my shades. I look super pretentious now that I actually look at it. Oh well. Most people call you a city slicker until, you're pretty far the way in anyway. I guess we'll just embrace it. Hey, Lewis. If you thought that this was a place in Pokemon, let me tell you I did too. It's a combination between Pallet Town and, I think his name is like Pelico or something, the guy who names his Wingull, Pico, something like that, you have to rescue in Ruby and Sapphire. Maybe that makes me sound old. I'm not just meaning ORS, I mean the original as well. But yes, this made me first remind me of a town in one of the Pokemon games. But no, Pelican Town is the town where you are in Stardew. Well, thanks, Mary Lewis. I'm glad everybody's excited. They're about to find out how weird I am, but oh well, sucks to suck. Rustic. You know when a fellow YouTuber or like somebody is trying to make something and they don't do quite as well a job as they want, and you just kind of go, hey, it's rustic. That's kind of what I'm feeling right now. At least it's got a decent wood pile. If only that wood was real. It's not. You have to get it yourself. Thanks, Robin, for being the voice of my thoughts. Okay. Oh, woof. Okay. Hashtag rude. I mean, I will buy her house upgrades. She doesn't need to neg me. Oh, shut up, Robin. He's right. What is it, like 3 p.m.? Yeah, so this little thing over here is one of the most important things in the game. It's called a shipping box. Anything you have to sell, artisanal good, farming thing, fish, foraging good, anything, goes in that bin. However, it doesn't come very quickly. It takes 24 hours to proctor. So, if you want something sold fast, you have to go to the person who sells that item. So, like if you catch a fish, you have to go to Willie, the fisherman. We'll meet him in a sec. If you want to sell your fruit and your vegetables, you go to Pierre. We'll meet him in a sec. That's more of an instant buy, which will benefit you more immediately. However, usually the shipping bin is a great drop-off, either for the end of the day or as you go. And I'll tell you why. Because this is how many spaces you get when you start. This is how many spaces you can get. This is how many spaces you get. And once you fill up, you can't do crap with them. So you're going to want to use that shipping bin a lot. A lot. Later on, you can actually build more of them too. Because when you expand your farm, you're going to need to. Because the time you're spending running is precious money wasted. So here are our tools. We have the axe, the hoe, watering can, pickaxe, scythe. How I normally order them is my old order from Terraria, in which I would have my pickaxe first. I would usually have the sword from Terraria. I would usually have the pickaxe, the sword, the axe here. And then some other tools like a hammer and stuff for like battering walls. This is going to be a little different because, for the most part, in early game, you're going to want your axe to be first or second. Because you're only really going to use your pickaxe seldom outside the mines, which is an area we'll get to later. Hoeing is going to be the next most important thing. And for early game, you're going to want to keep your scythe pretty close. Until we get crops, the watering can's not going to serve us very well, but just visually speaking, I'm like a little bit Virgo. Mostly Capricorn, but a little bit Virgo, so I got to have all my empty spaces at least together. So this is what we start with. If you're playing this game on single player, so long as you go to this menu by hitting either escape or whatever button it would be on PS4 or something, it would probably be either the start or select. Come on, we know how to game. Then your game can be paused up here. As I had said, time is precious. So you're going to, whenever you need to like take a pause and be like, what the hell am I doing? Pause it. If you're playing on multiplayer, however, you do not get that luxury. Because it's played in real time, if you're playing with multiple people, even if you're in this screen, your time's going to still tick. So I would suggest if you've never played this game, or if you don't know how to advance, or if you're stuck, or if you still have some questions, because admittedly, the learning curve in this in the first year is decently high, unless you watch a lot of YouTube like I did, or have somebody close to you, my brother, who knows everything about this game, still him, who essentially groomed my character past a lot of the pitfalls I would have otherwise hit. So I'm going to try to help you guys through this. It's a decently simple game, but it's also deceptively simple. When you start, much like Animal Crossing, syncing up your actions and your plans for the day with the schedules of the other characters, then you start finding the secrets and the tricks and of the trade, and you get to learn how to make money. So for now, this is where all of your stuff will be, but that's going to happen way later. So this is what you start with. You've got 500 gold. Your gold is going to come from 4 different pillars of this game. There are 4 essential parts to making money in this game, and not just for money, also for plot. There's gathering, which is probably the most important. There's farming, the second most important. There's crafting, and there's fishing. Now, technically, this game is just as much an open sandbox as it would allow you to not just diversify, but also simplify. So if you wanted to get through the game by becoming a master fisher person, you absolutely could. If you wanted to get by being a better blacksmith than Clint could ever even hope to be, you could do that. If you wanted to make most of your money just with growing like an apple orchard and then doing like different trees throughout the season, you could absolutely do that. However, to follow the plot, simple though it is, I would suggest doing a combo of all four. So gathering is going to include not just picking stuff off the ground like foraging, but it's also going to include mining, because your foraging is going to be stuff that will cost you the least amount of energy. Energy is one of your main, besides time, is going to be one of your main resources. Once you're out of this, you can't do anything. And every single action you do, including using any of these tools, with the exception of the scythe, I think, costs you energy. So there's going to be a way to balance what you have foraged for profit and what you have foraged for yourself. And we're going to start that now. So we're going to start our first day. It is currently 6:10 a.m. We are going to be in bed before midnight because this game technically gives you till 2 a.m. If you're not in bed by 2 a.m., you literally have to hire somebody to Stardew, as it were, you back home, and that costs you money. And in-game, we can't afford to do that. If you go to bed at noon, or at midnight rather, if you go to bed at midnight, you take no energy penalty, and you wake up fully refreshed, and everything's fine. You don't have to call a Stardew or anything. If you go to bed past 1 a.m., you take an energy penalty, which in early game we can't afford to do, just because you get so little. You will eventually be able to increase this as the game goes on with special items that I won't spoil yet, but until then, energy is precious, time is precious. We're going to try to do this as succinctly as possible, and you're going to laugh at me when I don't. So, let's start the day. Let's see. Good! Seeds! Our first seeds. Perfect. So, pay attention to the description on each of these seeds, because this up here is the day of the week. But not just that, it's also the day of the month. This game doesn't have months like we have months. This game runs on 4 28-day months. So it is the 1st of spring. Tomorrow will be the 2nd of spring. The next day will be the 3rd of spring, all the way up to the 28th of spring. Then it will roll over to the 1st of summer. So there will be 4 Mondays, 4 Tuesdays, 4 Wednesdays, etc. in the month. I'll show you the calendar of there are things that happen on certain days of the month, but to come back to the seeds, these seeds only grow in the spring. After the 28th of spring, I will not be able to plant these. Also, if I did already plant them, they'll die. Keep that in mind. So, now that we have our seeds, let's get going. So, your pickaxe is for the rocks, as you would imagine, not just from playing Terraria, but also from doing anything else. So see, my energy bar is going to get lower as we go. We'll use our axe for the wood. Alright, considering this is really only the first little bit, I'd say for this kind of grass we'll want to use the scythe. See how much faster that is, my goodness. Alright, so because this is only the first week, I'm going to say don't go crazy. Some of the most useful advice that my brother gave me when I started to play this game is don't expect to do too much at once. If you can set one main goal for yourself during the day, such as clear this field, such as plant these seeds, such as go to the mine and get 5 levels down, you will find this game a lot more rewarding and a lot less frustrating. Because I was going by the Terraria metric of, oh, I can just work on this until I'm done, in which the day-night cycle doesn't really matter unless you want to fight off zombies, but you're pretty good to fight off zombies within your first in-game, like, 2 or 3 days. So long as you can build yourself, like, a wooden sword or something, you're fine. But in this game, once it's 2 a.m., the game stops. You sometimes lose your things if you're not inside, and that's it. So we're going to be a little more careful. Oh, they started off with some coal. Hot damn, that's great. Coal is going to be super, super useful. So now that I have cleared I'd say, a decent area. Get this sapling out of the way. We are going to use the hoe. Gonna hoe it up. All right, 4, 5, 1, 2, oops, 3, 4. Going to till this area. And when we till it, we can plant the plants. There we go. And so we're going to use our watering can. You'll always know that the area is watered because there's a slight color change on the tile. And here's one other useful thing that I learned embarrassingly late. If you go to back to your menu, so you hit escape or start or select whatever it is, go to options, show tool hit location. This will save you so much time and frustration and probably literal energy. So now we can actually see what we're watering and where we're using our tools. All right. I like to use the scythe whenever possible because it's not as energy consumptive as the rest of your tools. So if there's any kind of grass or anything your way that's not like actual wood or stone or saplings or anything, use your scythe. Alright, so I would say my personal goal in these 2 days will be to build a chest. So in your little inventory, you get these buttons up here. So your inventory is going to be the one that's just default. This is just the one that you see. This one is going to be your skills. So here, I said that there were 4 sort of pillars of the game. There you have 5 skills, and they'll all start bleeding into one another, you'll find. And you do get certain benefits when you hit benchmarks. So you have almost kind of like a spec tree. It's much simpler than that because it's not really a tree. It's more of like a small twig that branches twice, 5 different times. But the 4 pillars of the game will bleed into each other. So all the skills will feed into one another. So the game snowballs at certain milestones. Our goal is to hit those milestones quickly and efficiently, and also still have fun while we're doing it. Because if you go back in year 2 and you realize you didn't plant your seeds at the right time and now your whole bundle behind the community center, oh my god, that's frustrating. That's where I am. You'll learn what the community center is in a while. I think we get to visit the community center for the first time in the first week, and that's the A storyline. The A storyline is going to be restoring the community center. The B storyline is regarding JoJo Mart, and for those who've played already, you guys probably already know more than I did, because because I haven't finished the B storyline. I'm still working on the A storyline, but for those of you who haven't played, again, that'll be the first week. We'll see what's going on. Your social is all of the villagers and your relationships with them. So much like in Stardew, much like in Animal Crossing, all of the different neighbors have certain likes and dislikes. They also have scheduled birthdays. And you can increase your hearts with them if you give them gifts that they like. And I'll show you how to give gifts by the end of the stream, because that will be sort of the bread and butter of being able to increase your friendship with them. And increasing your friendship with them will give you lots of different benefits. You can give them up to 2 a week. So for every Sunday through Saturday cycle, you can give them up to 2 gifts. That doesn't, however, exclude birthdays, and we'll be using that to our full advantage. The map. The map is super useful for just generally where the hell am I going kind of inquiries. And then also if you have quests, little daily like mini quests, that tell you to bring something somewhere, this will help remind you of where those things are. Crafting. This is going to be one of the pillars of the game. So this is what we want to build first. A chest. I mean, chests are pretty straightforward. If you play Terraria, if you play most most games, chests hold stuff. That's the most important thing to know. Chests, so long as we have like no backpack space, chests are going to be your best friend. And to gather them, we need regular wood. We need 50 pieces. As of right now, we have 13. So that's going to take a while, especially because our energy is already half depleted, just from the little that we've done. Collections will be important later. This is where all of the different things that you have throughout the game will collect. It'll be useful for crafting. Your options is where we've already been. And then here's a useful tip. If you derp, which I do, I derp quite a lot. I derped at least 4 times in the last hour before I started the stream on my other file. If you derp, if you don't plant something, if you accidentally throw a bomb into your crafting station and it blows up, if you let all your animals out and they go wandering away. If something stupid happens and you were really counting on that thing to happen in order to make your day productive, so long as your game hasn't brought you to the total up screen at the end of the night and you don't hit OK, so long as you go back to title, you can start the day over. So if you derp, and you derp often, like me, then you can undo the derp by going back to the title. You will lose all of your progress from having done stuff that day, so like if you get a really rare drop that day, maybe think twice about restarting the whole thing, because maybe you won't get that drop again. But if you just miss your timing or whatever, you do have an out. You only get one save point per day, so if you do screw up, you can just basically redo it. You might actually even see me do it during the stream. So, with that said, let's go talk to some villagers. Here's the bus stop for reference. This little symbol here, the plus sign, is the button that you use to forage and also to harvest. So there are going to be a left and, for if you're playing on PC that is, there's going to be a left click and a right click function. The right click function is going to be to forage. Most of your forageables are going to be edible. So you have an energy and a health. Your health bar won't so much matter if you're not in the mines, but the energy is going to be what is very, very important. So dandelions are going to be a great foraging staple once you get back on, until you get like on your feet in terms of farming. So forageables are completely free. They grow pretty much everywhere. So if you just keep a stack of them on you for early game, then these can help replenish your energy and you get to squeeze out more during your day. But you got to be careful because not all forageables give you any benefits. See, this gives you no energy. It just takes up space. However, you can sell your forageables. Not for much, but we're only starting with 500 gold, so hell yeah, we're going to sell it. So here's the main square. This is where most of the houses live. If you need energy drinks or potions or anything like that, you're going to go in here. You're going to probably talk to Harvey. Hey, Harvey. I don't have money, but hi. What's up? You'll see him later on. What's this? The calendar. So today's the 1st of spring. Your calendar will show you different birthdays. It'll have the picture of the person on it. And then these little flag things are festivals. Festivals are fun because it's different content, and also once you enter the festival, time doesn't matter. So you can take however long you want to do the festivals. You can also get some pretty rad stuff during individual festivals, such as strawberry seeds. And the egg festival is when we get strawberry seeds. And we're going to be buying as many as we physically can afford, whether that's this stream or another stream. Probably another one. So let's see, the first birthday is actually going to be Lewis's, but it's not for a week, so we can wait on that. This is Pierre's. Let's see. This will be your little quest daily board. Nothing right now. But Pierre's is going to be the person you probably talk to the most. Hey Gus. He's the shopkeep. He runs the Star Drop Saloon. Please get out of the way. If you walk at somebody long enough, you'll step out of the way. Here's Marnie. She'll sell you all the animals that you'll need on your farm, but probably later, because they're very expensive, and they take having built a barn, which is also expensive. Hey, Marnie. This is my brother and I joke that it's Amethyst, but her name is Abigail. That's a Steven Universe reference. Oh, that's right. I heard something new is moving on the farm. Yeah, me. Hi. You can usually talk to people up to twice. And here's Pierre. Hello, Pierre. So let's get rid of this. And let's buy... I think it would be a good start to buy some of the expensive stuff first. We're probably going to be making a lot of trips just because we've got no space whatsoever. Now, the cauliflower seeds are the most expensive, and they take the longest to grow. But they are the most lucrative crop in spring, with the exception of the strawberries. So, I would suggest not going ham, but definitely buying at least a couple strawberries, a couple cauliflower seeds. I I'd say probably also, I will fix that later, I promise, Virgos. I would definitely say start with a good mix of seeds. And here, by the way, is your journal. All of your quests will be in here. Your tutorial screens will be in here. It'll be a useful little thing. You can either, I have the keystroke to be on F. My key binding says F. You can change them in the options menu if something is more convenient to you. Obviously, the interface setup is going to be a little different on a PS4 or on Xbox. And here's Abigail. She's Pierre's wife. Again, green hair. Hi, Caroline. Yep, so green hair, auburn hair, purple hair. You do the math, because I'm bad at math, and I still don't think that that's 100% correct. Alright, potato seeds are a good middle-of-the-road crop. I don't want to sell this yet. Actually, no, I don't want to sell. Let's just eat it, because we're going to need our energy. And that bag space. Bag space is precious. Alright, and let's start with some beans. Let's buy as many seeds as we can afford, because that's going to pay off. It's okay to be spending every cent that you have. The game doesn't throw stuff at you that you're just like, oh no, I didn't save for. It doesn't Fable 3 you. There isn't a point where it's just like, well, guess I can't play anymore because I didn't plan that right. At worst, you just have to go to bed early, suck it up, and start over. So let's see. We have 7 seeds. Oh, I didn't do this right. Oh, so I'm sorry, Virgos. We're going to have some uneven terrain here. No, I think I got this. Sorry, I'm very bad at math. Math is not my strong suit. Alright, and if you screw up, you just pickaxe it. So that way it looks nice and even. Alright, so let's water it. The nice thing about beans, these 2 pole things right here, is that they are what we would normally call a trellis plant. So a trellis plant means you can't walk past it, which is annoying, so plant these wisely. But that also means that if you plant it once, it keeps producing. Once you produce a potato or a parsnip, you pick it, gone. That's it. You got to replant it. You got to buy more seeds. But not so with the beans. The beans will just keep producing. They'll just keep producing until the plant dies at the end of the season, which is, in my opinion, definitely worth the money. Like, by a lot. Let's clear off a little more space. My key bindings are all wrong because my other file, I have it different. I have my sword in a different spot. Alright, just for my own sake. Because I'm going to keep screwing this up. Wasting my own energy and time. Now, I've been playing a certain file for a while, in which my setup is different, but whatever setup works for you, if you prefer to have the scythe up first because you're clearing, and you want to change it periodically, please feel free to do so. But you can only move your action tips in the inventory screen. Much like Terraria, you can't move them. They're pretty stuck down here. Alright, these you won't be able to hack through. Yeah, until you get an upgraded weapon or upgraded tool. But that's not going to be for a little while. We're probably not even going to do that on this stream. But be patient. It will work out. While we're out here, let's see if we can also do a little bit more foraging. And I'll show you a bit more of the map. Let's see. We are on the forest farm. I chose the forest farm because I feel like it has, for a beginner player, the best combo of features. Like, it has these little water features for when you want to do some fishing. It has all of this wood, which will be absolutely integral for all of your crafting needs. It also has a lot of really good space. All of this yellow space that has no grass on it is technically arable land. So you can use this entire part of the map, this entire farmland area, for your farm. All you have to do is hoe it, which, believe me, takes a while. But you will also, by the time you hoe that entire area, have other things like sprinklers, irrigation systems, things that will help you. So, to show you where we are, Stardew is that entire area that we just walked down. We walked south, and now we're here in this little, forest area. When you see one of these trees, it is kind of a landmark, but it doesn't in itself do anything, at least not where I am. Traveling Merchant is going to show up here. We'll only see her on Fridays and Sundays. Here's another daffodil. Just eat that. That's an area we're not going to get to. We need the same axe upgrade as we do for the stumps. So we'll just have to leave that for the time being. This we'll see later. That belongs to an NPC we're not going to meet for a while. Ooh, yes. Let's just collect as many forageables as we can gather. Yeah, I want to get to 50 wood. Unfortunately, chopping wood is one of the most energy exhaustive things you can do, so while that absolutely sucks, it will become less painful the more you upgrade your tools. Ooh. That is horseradish. This will give you more energy. This would be good to sell, but I would say because we have no bag space yet, we're going to have to just leave that as is. Let's see. Once we build a chest, I'll show you another little secret. And the game calls it a secret. It's sort of common knowledge because the game will literally tell you about this secret, but it's not immediately obvious unless you happen upon it by chance or you learn about it from the TV. Let's see, we will be able to sell these once we have some adequate bag space and once we have some chests going, because then we can then drop off all of these just random things that we're gathering as we go. Yeah, I'm chopping all these little things instead of going for the big trees because it takes multiple whacks to take down a tree, and it will literally wipe out our energy if we chop one tree. And I'm not about that life right now. So we're getting close. 43. Just going to look for these little logs. It is 7:40. We're going to keep an eye on the time. Because as I said, it's advantageous to you in early game to be in bed somewhat early. Right, and as you can hear from the change in the audio, the game's night cycle has initiated. It initiates usually around like 6:37 or so. The crickets start going. 47, 48, 49, 50. Perfect. Now, unlike Terraria, where you have to be at a crafting station in order to be able to craft stuff, you can just craft wherever. Alright, so there goes all of our wood. We now have a chest. So, since we have the chest and we have a space available, I'm going to show you that secret that I mentioned. So if you go down from your farm into this like little intermediary area, if you cross this little bridge, and then this bridge, this only happens in the spring. This is a spring-specific secret. In these little arable patches, you find spring onions. And these are just free forageables. They just show up every day, completely free. Did I miss one? No. Cool. And then they'll occasionally grow, maybe like here or there. That's the sewer. That'll be way later. And then I think there's one other patch down over here. Yeah, it's 9:30. Alright, nope. There's nothing here. Alright, so we're good. So let's go back and place our chest. In Terraria, there are speed enhancements that you can take that make this go way faster, such as Hermes boots, such as grappling hooks. You can sometimes get mounts. This game does give you a mount, but you have to build a barn in order to house the horse. So that takes a little while and a lot of money, and a lot of wood too. And that's the only speed enhancement you get. So some people will make that their earliest benchmark of just like making sure they can build that kind of a barn and then have the horse, because the faster you travel, the faster you get to do stuff, the more you get to do on any given day. So let's plant this chest down, pop all the stuff we don't need in here, And I would say the spring onions, let's sell some of them just because we need to expand the farm and we need, some form of income. So here's your shipping box. It essentially opens up your inventory with the slot of where things go when you sell them. You can either left click to sell everything in a stack. I don't want to though. Or you right click for individual items to go in. So I would say let's sell 5 of the 9 that we got. I think that's probably a better deal. And keep some. We can eat these. With the watering can, always be careful that it has enough charge. For everything that you water, you empty the watering can. Seems kind of, intuitive. But sometimes if you were to put the watering can away for the day, which I like to do to have that extra spot, and you pull it out and you're like, I'm ready to water my crops, and it runs out less than halfway through. And now you have to run and fill it, and then run back, and then water it, which is extra energy and extra time. And in early game, we don't have a lot of either. Do you get more backspace? This really sucks. Yes, it does. And yes, you do. Pierre will sell a backpack. I believe 2 backpacks. The first one will expand this by an entire row, and the second one expands it an entire second row. I believe the first backpack upgrade is 2 grand, 2,000 gold, which we won't have for a little while, but that's okay. So it's 11. We have low energy. Let's just clear a little bit more, just until midnight, and then we'll call it a night. Our first in-game night in Stardew. One thing that my brother and I really appreciate about this game is that the music not only is optional, you can turn it off in the options, but the music is nice and soothing, it's really cute, and then there are times where there just isn't music. You get to just listen to the almost ASMR-like sound of you chopping wood, or of you clipping stone, or of you fishing, or anything like that. And that can be almost as soothing as the actual music. So when you're done, you run into your bed. And much like in Pokemon, you go to your bed and it's just like, hey, do you want to sleep? And if you want to get to your save point, this is how you do it. You hit yes. And so at the end of every day, it tallies what you've made, and in every pillar of the game. So farming is obvious, foraging is obvious, fishing is obvious, mining is obvious. Other would include things like if you found artifacts, if you got prizes from a festival, if you found certain minerals that are technically not mining, because mining would be like the ores and like coal and stuff. Other would be that. And so it totals everything up at the end of the day. If you want to see what you actually sold, then you can always go into this like little plus thing and it'll tell you what you sold. It's very simple now, but when your farm is actually going, you can look at what will eventually become a list of things. All right, so that concludes our first night. Building a chest is really the first goal, because then we can expand what we can do during a day, because then we're not necessarily just beholden to these little slots. So, what I like to do at the beginning of all of my Stardew days, and see, we're back up to full for energy, so check the TV. There are usually 3 channels. Your weather report, which always tells you the next day's weather. Rain all day. Rain is good. Rainy days are very good. Rain usually means 2 things. One, that you don't have to water your crops, so it's energy and time that you get back. We're very lucky to have rain this early on. I don't think in my first run through that I got rain in the first week, so that's pretty cool. The second thing is that when you get your fishing rod, there are certain fish that only come out when it rains. We don't have our fishing rod yet, so we'll have to let that go, but rain almost always increases your luck and the better kinds of fish come out. The second channel is Fortune Teller. The other resource that you need to keep in mind, and this won't necessarily make or break you, but it can help if you're sort of pulled in a lot of directions and you're not really sure what to do for that day, go by this channel, because this channel will tell you what your luck is doing. Spirits are somewhat annoyed today. So luck is on sort of a 5 scale. From the lowest, it'll be the spirits are very displeased today. They will do everything to try to slow you down, or some message like that. That's bad luck, so it'll count against you. The spirits are somewhat annoyed today, where we are now. That is the second one. I think it's like a -1 to your luck, and the other one that I said is a -2. So it goes -2, -1. The spirits are feeling neutral today. That's a +0, so no extra luck, but no bad luck. The spirits are slightly pleased today. They will try to be on your side, is a +1 to luck. I think the +2 to luck message is something like, the spirits are quite happy today. They will shower you with a little extra luck. And then top 3 luck, which +3 luck is the rarest of all. Those are going to be your Skull Cavern days. If you don't know what I'm talking about, totally fine. Even my character right now in year 2 is still prepping for Skull Caverns. That will be, I think, will shower you with luck or something like that. So your luck is going to help or hurt certain things that you do. So if you have really good luck, some things I would suggest doing would either be farming or mining. Wrong. Would either be mining or fishing. My bad. Different F. If you have bad luck, I would actually say still go fishing, because I found that I was able to level up my fishing skill ridiculously fast by fishing on bad luck days. Now, when your fishing skill is like basically 0, like ours is now, there we go. Good luck days are going to be showing you fish you don't even have a hope of catching. Bad luck days means that the fish are going to be crappier, which in our favor will work in our favor, because if the fish are crappier, they're easier to catch, and when our skill is low, we need bad fish to catch. So that's actually going to help us quite a lot. It's also going to help us make some money. So for the time being, we'll do that. Let's see, we have some mail. We'll get our fishing rod. That's Willie. Reminds me of groundskeeper Willie from Simpsons, but he's not the same person. He's not even vaguely Scottish. He's just a salty sea dog bearded man. No red hair either. Oops. Yeah, that's why you want your tooltip. Alright, I have a seed in here too, but that's just a foraging seed. That will sprout into just a forageable. That's not really going to be anything super useful. I would say that's like a good placeholder seed. Alright, so let's go back into town. And I'm gonna show you an area that we haven't been to before. But before we go there, it's always nice to stop by the bus stop and see if there are any forageables. That we can fix later in the game. Alright, up here is the community center. This will become important, but I just want to see if there are any forageables up here. No, it doesn't look like it. Oh, there's one. Alright, we can sell that. Alright, so we're walking through the square. That's the saloon where Gus works, the mustachioed man we met yesterday. Here's Shane. Super friendly, nice person. This is the sewer and the graveyard. Don't worry, there's no clowns down there. There is, however, something else, but that's a spoiler and I can't tell you. Here we go, cutscene with Willie. That hat has seen some things. I guess Willie has been deadliest catching it for a little while. Fishing rod, do 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 do. Hasn't been overfished yet. Good. So like Pierre, when you sell your farming materials, like we did for the seeds, Willie will buy you all of your fish. So if you need that money that day, go to fish and then get it from Willie. So let's show you what the fishing minigame is like. Now, fishing is going to suck. This little bar that is turning red to yellow to green is your cast distance. You tend to get better stuff the farther green it is. And when you're done, you release. You hold the button down until you're where you are on the little bar, and then you hit release. And then like Pokemon, you wait for the exclamation point. There we go. Left click. You gotta move. The point is to move this bar to stay with the fish. Your bar will be small, and it will be super overly sensitive. It will be usually pretty difficult to get your fish. I've been doing this a long time, so I'm decent at it. But you will not catch every fish every time. You're just gonna have to try as you go. Now there are two ways to do it. For every individual left click you make, your bar will go up. If you hold it down, it goes up faster, but it's much harder to control. So I just do lots of individual little clicks, like click to try to keep the bar at a constant rate, because the catchability will be the bar on the right side of the screen. Also, every cast you make costs energy, so try to be somewhat conservative about it. Even if you made a bad cast, just roll with it, see what you get. Sometimes you fish up trash, sometimes you fish up seaweed, but even the seaweed is good because it, like the dandelion, it's like the dandelion of the sea, in that it gives you a good amount of energy. Ooh, if you ever see these, take out your hoe and hit them. Worm piles always give you stuff, and it's always good stuff. Clay you use for gathering materials and also for crafting materials. There are a few recipes that require a lot of clay. You also get forageables on the ocean, as you would expect, like oysters, mussels, crabs, sea anemones, etc. So that was pretty good. That was a good haul. Let me show you a bit around the area. This is Mayor Lewis's house. Sometimes he'll send you on quest and you gotta deliver those to him. This is Gunther's place. He is the museum expert. Hello, Gunther. Don't worry, he doesn't milady you at all. He's just eccentric. The minerals and artifacts that he's talking about will come with mining. And we'll probably get to that a little later. So here are the kids of the town. Vincent. Here's Penny. She's their nanny slash babysitter. And here's the other kid, Jazz. I believe they are both... no, Vincent is... Whose kid? This is a little gross, but if you go through people's trash, you can sometimes find some good stuff in there. If you go through... What's the order? If you go through Gus's trash, the one right outside the saloon, you can sometimes find out whatever they were serving, and sometimes it's like a good meal. You go through Lewis's trash, he sometimes throws out bread, which will give you energy. That's the one I'm talking about. This one, I don't remember what this gives you, but it's usually like Pokemon, and then it's a crapshoot. They usually give you nothing. However, don't loot trash cans in public. If there's anybody nearby with an eye shot, they'll super judge you. And if you're trying to get all of your socials up, they don't like watching people go through the garbage. It's kind of like that episode of Seinfeld where George tries to eat the eclair, and then it just gets bad from there. This is Alex, the local jock. He's one of the datables in this game. So there are people that you get to meet who will give you stuff, and then there are people who you get to meet who want to date you if you get their hearts high enough. So anybody whose name says single is going to be eligible to date. Haley, George, Sam, Clint, Pierre, Jody, I think, Emily, Harvey, Maru, Abigail, Elliot, Linus, Demetrius, Sebastian, Leah, Rasmodius, and Pam. So I'm not expecting any of you to remember their names. We'll meet them as we go in this stream. But anybody whose name says single, you can date them. And the cool part is that it's kind of like a Schrodinger's bisexual in that doesn't matter what kind of a character you roll, they're technically all dateable. So it's not like a Dragon Age kind of thing or like a Mass Effect kind of thing where it's like, oh, you can only romance this character if you're gay, or like you can only romance this character if you're like a straight female. You can romance any of these characters as any kind of character that you roll. They will always go both ways. You can also get married and divorced in this game, so if you decide that you like one character over the other, you can technically divorce them. Doesn't go well unless you hire the witch to wipe their memory, but that's a whole different thing. And getting your friendship up with them to the point of dating them is going to take filling both of these out every week until this goes up to here. These last 2 hearts will be once you date them. In my other file, I'm dating Sebastian because he has a motorcycle and he's like brooding and dark. In this one, I might go Sam. Or maybe I'll put it to a vote. I'll see what my streamers want me to do. I'll see who I can try to woo the fastest. Alright, so let's drop some of this stuff off because we literally have no backspace. There's really not much we can do here. Yeah, chests are nice because they give you the full 3 rows. Alright, let's sell the dandelion for sure. Doesn't give you much, but it gives you something. Let's sell the fish, because we have the spring onions, and the fish will fetch you a better price. So one more thing before we start doing something else. We're probably going to fish most of the day, because that's going to be our most lucrative thing at the moment until things start blooming and are ready to harvest. So you get rankings of items. The more you go, the higher your skill goes. The higher these are, the more likely you're able to find ranked items. Items go by stars, and the stars are different colors. So if you get a silver star item, it's going to sell for more than a regular item, a non-starred item, like this. Your rankings will be on everything but minerals and ore. So forageables, you'll start getting rankings. Animal products, you'll start getting rankings. Farmables, you'll start getting rankings. Fishing, same thing. So it goes silver, gold, iridium. Iridium is the best quality thing. It's a purple star. But we're not going to even see them during this stream. I really don't think. So silver items not only sell better, but they are better. If you want to use a forageable, the higher it's ranked, the more energy and health it gives you too. Then again, that also means it will sell better, so do you really want to eat your better quality items? Do you want to sell your better quality items? I generally don't sell I don't eat my better quality items. So let's go fishing, and to keep it simple, we can actually fish right on our property. So let's use the scythe to get to our second little pond here. If you didn't choose the forest for your farm, I want to know how that goes, because I actually haven't chosen a different terrain. Because this is kind of like an amateur hour in terms of like me playing a game that some of you probably haven't played before, I didn't want to do like a harder map and be like, oh, what the hell's going on? Or like, oh, if you're, not skilled enough, then this dynamic won't work for you. Like, I really just wanted to be like, here's this game that I like that's really cool and relaxing and fun. Alright, so now that we're at Little Lake, let's fish. Wait till the bar is green, release, and you can also change the direction of your cast with your directionals. So this is an ASDW game, Should have mentioned that first. For those of you just tuning in, this is an ASDW game called Stardew Valley, in which you farm and catch broken CDs. You can use your directionals to change the direction of the cast if you wanted to try to up your fishing game a little bit more. Alright, so these items that you see in your bar, and this will include all items that you see in the game, have their little priority underneath the description. So this will be pickaxe. It's a tool. You can't sell them. I don't think you can trash. Oh, you can. Don't do that. You only get one until you upgrade them. This is a resource. Resource means that you can use it to build stuff. Forage, it's a food. Resource. Trash. So these trash items you can literally just throw out. They're space holders. They can become useful items if you have a recycling crafting station, but we don't even know how to make that yet. So for the time being, let's just get rid of them. Although, I have a soft spot for the soggy newspaper trash item, because even though it's a trash item, and I know what I just said, if you put it into a recycling machine, there's a chance it becomes cloth. And you need cloth for some of the larger, more expensive stations. So you can cheat the system like a little bit if you're lucky. And if you put your soggy newspapers, if you save them, and you put them into a recycling machine, then you might be able to get enough cloth to get some of the later game stations earlier than you're supposed to. So I always like to keep the newspapers. If you were to put, like, say, the driftwood into the recycling thing, you're gonna get either, I think it's either a torch or just a straight up piece of wood, which is fine. If you put a little the broken CD, you get refined quartz, which is important for most crafting things, but just because we don't have the space and because you will get a billion of them, we'll just hold off on this for now. I like to spend most of my time and energy early game fishing, because personally I feel like it's the fastest way to get money to afford the things that you will need to be better at this game. And as with most games, the more you do a thing, the better you get at it. And the better you get at it, the higher your skill goes. That's pretty much every game that I've played. So, and of course, the higher the skill, the easier it becomes to get things. Oh, nice. Joja Cola is technically a forageable, which is great because we don't have a lot of energy to spare. Good. Having never played Harvest Moon myself, I know that the farming aspect compares really easily, but I haven't played the game at all, so I wouldn't know how exactly this game compares. Like, I don't know how closely it is to Harvest Moon. As it so happens, Eric Baroni, the creator of this game, did meet the creator of Harvest Moon, and they had like a little powwow, a little luncheon, and like Eric, if you look up pictures of the encounter, Eric Baroni is just like beside himself. He's just like so happy. Just listening to the man talk, and I don't know his name off the top of my head. I know they used to work for not Nintendo, but he's anyway. The creator of this game knows he's ripping off of slightly ripping off of Harvest Moon, but it's part of the game's charm, in my opinion. And if I ever have the chance, I probably would play Harvest Moon, especially because I like this game so much. I don't know. What do you guys think? How does Harvest Moon compare? Leave me your comments. I wanna know, can you tell me? I wanna know about your Harvest Moon playthroughs. Alright, it's 9:10. We're not gonna do much else. Maybe we'll actually get a fish before tonight ends. Not sure. You can catch fish in this pond, I swear. Just having a really bad streak. Alright, we're gonna give up there. We're gonna trash the trash. Let's see, we're just gonna try a couple casts, I think. That's probably what we have time for. In the river. So back where we found the spring onions. Which I think I forgot to get. Nuts. It's okay, I think we have some time. Yeah, depending on your luck, it'll also determine how many spring onions spawn. And these only grow in the spring, so you'll want to capitalize on these while they're here. Not that many. It's okay, it's fine. It's not like I, needed the spring onions or anything. Alright, I think it's worth at least a couple casts. Then we'll just run back. As long as we get in bed before 1, I think we'll be okay. Yeah, I'm sorry I haven't been more interactive with my followers. I know that more experienced streamers will have the chat up and they'll be like, hey, how you doing? They'll call people on as they log in. Still learning. I'm on a bit of a learning curve myself, so I will try to be more interactive with my fans in coming streams. I'm using Streamlabs and I'm trying to still learn how that works and how to properly balance looking at this game screen, separate window, and you really do need to full screen it at times, versus just having it like a half screen and then maybe having the chat up and replying in the chat and calling usernames out in chat as they show up. So I'll try to get better at that in future streams, just because I was really only going to run for about like maybe another 10 minutes or just another in-game day, and then I was going to call it a night. So it's cutting it a little close here, and we're in. Foraging. Good. So we have more axe proficiencies that will lessen our energy consumption when we chop things down. Trees will now drop seeds, so you can plant more trees as you cut them down. We can now make wild seeds. Good. We can also make Nutrigrain bars. I mean field snacks. Alright, so we made some money. That's something. Alright, we are on day 3 now, so I think I'm just going to run through this. And it's raining. That means we don't have to spend our energy on this. Good, 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 good. Yep, here's our first ranked item. So we have our regular spring onions and our ranked spring onion. This will sell for a little bit more, so I think that would be worth throwing into the bin here. And also because it's raining, that might mean we'll have some better luck with fishing. But before we do anything else, let's double check the weather report for tomorrow. It's going to be clear and sunny. And for the luck for today. Mildly perturbed. Okay, -1 to luck. That's okay though, because the rain ups your luck for fishing. Look, our beans are growing. But the oh look, some worms. Always, always, always hit these. Okay, rice shoots. We can plant those, actually. Ooh, we can plant these right now. They have to grow near water. So we have to plant them right here. We can use these for later. That was very, very lucky, actually. Normally we have to buy those, and now we don't. Nuts, what was I saying? Yeah, the rain will up your chances of getting luckier fish and harder to catch fish, but the negative luck will hopefully balance that down. We want as bad luck as possible when we go fishing early game, because as I had said previously, you get to catch worse fish, worse quality fish. But when you're low skill, you don't care that they're less fish because you're like they're, you know, less quality fish, because your skill increases not on how many casts you make, but on how many fish you're successfully catching. So if we're successfully catching just a ton of like absolute butt fish, then our skill's still increasing. You're going to want to fish on good luck days, probably later on. Ooh, our first gold ranked thing. Nice. We're going to sell that. That's going to be great. All right, I'm still foraging a little bit. This will become a hat shop later. Not a spoiler. That is the only thing that happens over there. This will be an event area. We can only go there during certain festivals. Don't worry about that area. All right, I'm wasting a lot of time. Let's not do that. Time is precious. So let's fish in this river. We can also expand our farm, see if we can buy a few more plants. I think day 5 is when you get to unlock the community center. Oh, nuts, this is so much harder early game. A chub. A good rule of thumb for this game is to save at least one of everything. Whether it's for a quest, whether it's for a community center bundle, whether it's for your own resource, like personal use, always, always a good idea to keep at least one thing. Oh, this fish has got a lot of thrash. Thrash factor is pretty high. All right. Yeah, this is difficult. Yep. That's what I mean by the rain. Rain is making these fish a little harder to catch. If you pay attention during this mini game, the patterns, the fight patterns, the thrash patterns of these fish will indicate what kind of fish you're trying to catch. Some fish fight harder than others, which can also help you learn strategies on how to catch them. The hardest fish to catch in the non-specialty areas, at least to my knowledge, are sturgeon and catfish. They got a lot of thrash to them, and they will specifically try to jump from the top to the bottom of the screen. You will not be able to catch them. I mean, prove me wrong. I want to see a video about that, but prove me wrong. You will not be able to catch these fish early game, not without at least an iridium fishing pole. All right, it's almost noon. We're not going to be fishing all day. This is what I would probably do on a normal day. Oh, look, there's a chest. What we're going to do is we're going to almost go to the top. We're going to get that chest and then try to catch the fish. Because then, if... Oh, never mind. If you can manage it, like I didn't, to hover your bar over the chest and then catch your fish, you get a special extra prize. And it's a random chance. You never usually know what it is. It's either going to be bait, it could be a rock, it could be a geode, it could be a special mineral. You don't know. Oh well. You're not going to be good early game, and some of these fish are going to thrash pretty hard. Yeah. All right. Alright, let's go back to the chest. Actually, we can take a shortcut. This is where Marnie lives. This is where you buy your animals. That's where Leia lives, her sister. And now we're back in town, in the lower parts. I'm gonna be gross for a second, hold on. Make sure nobody catches you. Otherwise people like react, they go, "Blah! What are you doing?" Their heart goes down a little bit. Oh, alright, the cutscene hasn't started yet. Yeah, I think it's day 4 or 5 where you actually like get to... Yeah, you get to go inside. That's the community center. That is the site of the A plot. Oh, and there's a quest here. Looking for a delicious potato. I'd be so happy if someone delivered one to me. Now, whether or not you actually do these, they'll generate every couple of days. So you do get little cash rewards when you do them, and they are randomly generated. So Willie won't always want potatoes. Sometimes he'll want a cauliflower. Sometimes he'll want a strawberry. Sometimes he wants fish. So it could be anything. We won't be able to technically do this quest because potatoes take 5 days-ish to grow. We're on day 3, I think. Yeah, we planted them... No, we planted them the second day, so we're only on like day... Technically, this is the second day. So that's like 3 more days to gestate and grow. And daily quests usually despawn after the second day, so I don't think we'll be able to finish it on time. But just to show you, once you accept a quest, it'll show up in your journal. So you either hit the F key, or you hit this little button right here. So it'll show all your quests together. So I haven't talked to everybody yet. Cultivate and harvest a parsnip. We've done the cultivate part. Harvesting will take a little while. And then we have the daily quest. Usually they're just fetch quests of just like, here, go find this thing for me. Here, go bring me this thing. And some of them are go and kill this thing for me. Those are the Rasmodius quests, but we won't see them till we at least unlock the mines in the very least. Ooh. Leeks. More forageables. Good, 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 good. Alright, let's just finish out the day, and then I think that'll be the end of the stream for today. So, oop, nope, let's keep one of them. And then we'll sell the chub. Alright, let's keep the garbage for the time being. I swear once we have our crafting station, it will be... You will be happy you did. Let's see. I suppose we could buy more seeds, but... Really the only thing to do would be to fish and to forage. Oh, you know what we didn't do today? We haven't gone to the ocean. So let's go to the ocean. See what we can find. Maybe we can fish in the ocean. I bet some of those will probably be a little easier to get. Could probably catch sardines and herrings. They got a lot less of a thrash factor than a lot of these river fish. A little tamer. I have always said that my first benchmark in this game is to build my first chest. But what are yours? I want to hear about what other people like to do, like sort of the first day, like get it done, you know, with what you got, like set yourself up for success. What are your first benchmarks? Tell me in the comments. Or if you're some of my friends, then just like text me or put it on my Facebook chat. Ooh, this was worth doing. This was worth doing. Here's our first little sea quest. 300 pieces of wood. This could be fixed. This is an extra foraging area. And it's like, okay, anemones. Big whoop. Anemones are super, super, super valuable, as are clams. When you combine them with tree sap, you get fertilizer. But not just any fertilizer. Deluxe speed grow. So it not only makes your plants better, it makes them grow faster. and you can buy it for a stupid amount of money, or you can just build it yourself, just with tree sap, which you get from chopping down trees, and I think certain kinds of fish will also give you some fertilizer. You can make your basic fertilizer with just tree sap. You can make quality fertilizer, which makes all of your plants better, with sap and any kind of fish. So like I could throw this mussel in with some tree sap and make some fertilizer. I can actually show you how to do that. Let me just chop one tree down. Nope, let's do it closer to the base because it'll actually serve a function. Get out of here. Alright, so let's get rid of this. Yeah, see the energy trickling down? You gotta get rid of the stump too. Yeah, see how much energy that took? Alright, so if we go to our crafting station. Oh, we don't know how to do it yet. Duh. But we will be able to do it. Once we learn the recipe, we will be able to do that. So keep the clams. Here, let's keep the 5. Sell the rest. There we go. If you want to save things from yourself, because I'm super forgetful and I do that a lot, I try to store what I know I'm going to keep in the chest. That way when I just do like sell, like everything in the bin, I can just do it kind of mindlessly. Protecting myself from myself. Let's get rid of this. We don't really need that for the time being. And now let's do what I said we were going to do and go to the ocean. The rice is growing quite nicely. That'll take a few days to gestate. I know, we were just at the ocean, I didn't fish. You know what? We've only got 4 slots of inventory. We need it. Yeah, so 3 in-game days, I'd say, from now, we'll start seeing our first profit, our first farming profit. Because the parsnips will grow first. The potatoes, I think, are going to grow in like the next 2 days after that. The cauliflower will take the longest. They're going to take like 12 days. So we're not going to get to that this stream. Lots of rapid clicks. Keep it on the fish. It's got a little thrash factor, but not much. Halibut. Good. It took a lot of sucking before I got good at this minigame. So if you're not good at it at first, if it's really hard, don't blame yourself. It is designed to be hard. Your little catch bar, the little green bar that you toggle, is very small. It is inconveniently small. And there just will be fish you will not be able to catch. I am doing this with the privilege of having played this game for a very long time, with the practice of knowing a lot of the thrash patterns of these fish. Give yourself a lot of wiggle room to be patient and to make a lot of derping mistakes. It's going to take a long time before you get good at this fishing minigame, if this is your first playthrough of Stardew. I do suggest, though, that it is worth putting the time and the effort into it, though, and always go fishing with forageables on hand, because it will take your energy, and if you want to spend adequate time to do it, you will need those forageables to replenish your energy so you can keep making casts. There we go, we got lucky with that one. Really lucky! Wow! Eels are usually way harder to catch than that. They're also very, very, very valuable. Nice! This is probably the best thing we've gotten all day. All stream, even. We are going to keep that. Oh, we might actually want to sell it. I'm not sure. We'll need it for a bundle. Not that some of you know what that means. Oh, sweet! We'll just sell one of them. Great. This solves the problem. if you decide to spend the time and the money having Robin upgrade your house, that won't be this stream, and that won't even be the next stream, or even the one after that. It will take a lot longer. But when you have the money and the resources to do upgrades on your house, the first one that you get is a kitchen. And the kitchen is basically just an extra crafting station. You can actually turn the things that you forage, fish, farm, etc. into dishes. And you can give those as gifts. They make really good gifts. Everybody loves stuff that you cook. You can also use those as better forageables. So instead of having like 2 slots open that I have for forageables, you can have 1 slot, which for space saving reasons is the actual best. And cooked food always gives you back more energy and more health than raw ingredients. Always. So like you can take your fish and some rice and turn it into maki rolls. You can make, if you have a mill, you can turn wheat into wheat flour. And then, if you have a tomato, you can make spaghetti. And those foods will give you a lot more energy back than just having forageables. So instead of having to take like a stack of onions like I've got, sweet! Then you can have just one thing of just lots of spaghetti and then just spam those. Alright, so it's 11 p.m. anyway. I think once we sell these things and turn in, that will be the end of the stream for today. I have a lot of notes to take and some things to learn for the next stream, so that way we can have a lot more fun and I can hear more from you guys as to how you're digging the game, how I'm doing. Not the worst reason, I withheld. And to hear your thoughts about how you guys like to play this game. So let's turn in and then actually turn in. So let's go back to the nest. Let's turn in one of these eels. Let's turn in the other. Let's throw our fish in there. Let's throw in the seaweed. And now we're going to throw in the towel. We do still have some energy left, but I don't really want to push it. So let's go into our bed and hit the final save screen. And now we're better at the fishing rod. I think that either means that our fishing bar increases. I think that's what it means. Nice, we made a good bit today. Good. Now we officially have more than we started with. See, isn't spending the time on fishing worth it? We also got super lucky with the rain. Alright, so you just have to hit OK on that title screen. Your progress has been saved, and now we can technically safely log out without any issue. So that was actually a really good run, considering we had a bit of a bad streak in the lake, but I didn't have to restart the whole game because I didn't derp so hard that we had to restart the entire day. We held over a little long in terms of the stream, but I'm glad we got to finish that day. Thanks for hanging in with me, guys, and thanks for tuning in for my very first ever stream. Probably apropos that we hold over 10 minutes because I was almost as many minutes late in starting. Still learning Streamlabs. It'll be a lot more streamlined next time, I promise. Alright, so thanks for tuning in, guys. The Eagle has officially landed, and it is, as of right now, in Stardew. Have a great day.